Hi, Ewelina. Let's take a look at what you did here. Domestic international travel advantages, disadvantages. Let's see. Nowadays, there is a visible rising tendency towards traveling not only within homelands, but also abroad. It is questionable whether the advantages of this development outweigh the disadvantages. In this essay, I will elaborate on this matter using examples from Spanish studies and Swedish research to demonstrate points and prove arguments. All right, lovely. Very nice. Okay. On the one hand, there is ample evidence that traveling is hugely beneficial. The reason behind this is twofold. Firstly, the positive impact on mental well-being cannot be overstated. It is widely believed that if an environment is changed, it may create more opportunities to detach from work. Consequently, it can be easier to relax and diminish a level of stress, which is an extremely harmful factor in personal health. Secondly, an economic aspect should be acknowledged, as in numerous countries, tourism is the most prosperous sector. For example, recent Spanish studies have demonstrated that in 2020, the decreased number of tourists coincided with the downturn in the economy. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that this trend is simultaneously valuable to individuals and society. That is lovely. It's really, really, really nice. Really nice. Yeah. Maybe there was one little thing I didn't like here to detach from work. I felt that it was a little awkward in terms of vocabulary, but the rest of it read so nicely and it was so like it was textbook, you said, here's my idea, I'm supporting it, I'm supporting it. Here's my another idea, I'm developing it, I'm supporting it, I'm supporting it. So lovely, 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 really good. Okay. On the other hand, there is a case for environmental pollution and exploitation. Growing demand for travels is often related to replacing wildlife's natural habitats by infrastructure and recreational facilities. Furthermore, an increased air traffic, careful, that's not grammatically correct. Oh, no, it is. Sorry, I didn't read the rest of the sentence. Take that back. I take it back. Furthermore, an increased air traffic, as planes have become the most preferable type of transportation, could be associated with global warming. For instance, Swedish research has shown that flying may be the most unecological transport because it needs the largest amount of fuel. As a result, uh, an emission and an abundance of greenhouse gases, which is the major cause of rising temperature, ought to be taken into account. Okay, this sentence for me was a little awkward. An emission of an abundance of greenhouse gases. It was just a little awkward. Maybe, let's say, flying may be the most unecological transport because it needs the largest amount of fuel. As a result, let's see. As a result, an abundance of greenhouse gases. I don't know. I'm trying to fix it in a way that just flows a little more smoothly, but also tries to retain as much of your original writing as possible. So you said that flying might be the most unecological transport because it needs the largest amount of fuel. As a result, how about the abundant greenhouse gases emitted, which are the major cause of rising temperatures, ought to be taken into account. The abundant greenhouse gas. You don't even say emissions. Let's try it differently. The abundance of greenhouse gases, which is the major cause of rising temperatures, ought to be taken into account. Yeah, maybe we should get rid of emission. Okay, and then the abundance of greenhouse gases. I think I like that better. Thus, it is possible to state beyond doubt, you forgot that word, that I don't really care for this sentence here. Thus, it is possible to state beyond doubt that travel's influence on the environment might be damaging. That's what I would say. Traveling's apostrophe S influence, or travels apostrophe S influence on the environment might be damaging. Okay? I think I like that better. All right, to summarize, it can clearly be seen that a balance between human prosperity and an eco-friendly approach should be required. It is predicted that environmental issues will grow in importance. Okay. I liked this, Evelina, even though I thought your second paragraph, your second body paragraph had a little awkwardness in some of those areas. On the whole, I think it was really nicely written. It was concise, it was developed, it was good. I thought it was a well-written essay. It was just those last couple of sentences that were tricky and needed a little work. But other than that, it was lovely. Okay, so you should feel good about it. Let's take a look at the movie preferences around young people. Let me just fix my mouse here. There we go. The bar charts show preferences of young males and females for 6 different kinds of movies, and then you name them good throughout the world. The most common choice for men was comedy at 145, which is the largest number on the graph. Good. It was closely followed by action at 137. The least favorite was romantic, which was the lowest figure on the charts. Good. The interest in the remaining kinds of movies were declared between 40 and 80 male recipients. I don't know about that word recipients. I didn't really care for the word declared either. The interest in the remaining kinds of movies were reported between 40 and 80 male viewers. Okay, viewers, not recipients. I like the way you organized this. I thought it was smart. You started with the top two, you talked about the bottom, and then you give a range. So nice. As for women, similarly, the most preferable type was comedy at 137. It was followed by romantic, drama, and action with the numbers at 116, 86, and 82, respectively. The remaining movies preferred by, this is awkward here. The remaining movies were preferred by between 40 and 80 women. I think that would have been better. Overall, comedy is the most preferable kind of movie despite the gender. However, the highest disproportion based on gender was reported on romantic, as it was a more desirable choice for women. Okay. I think you did a nice job here. It did feel kind of short, so I would love to see what your word count was. And I'll tell you why I'm going to mention this. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can pull up how many words you used. Give me a second. Okay, this was actually 160 words, so it's fine. Let's see. So there were you had basically 12 pieces of data here, correct? And you talked about, yeah, you talked about a little bit more with the women. Let me see something. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you left that. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. Here's the thing. When you have so few pieces of data like you did here, you could have maybe included more, maybe. Okay. So maybe you could have been just a little more specific. So you were talking about the men and you were saying how they're between 40 and 80. What else could you have told us that? It's not really even true if you think about it. It's not between 40 and 80. It's actually a far more narrow thing. It's like between 60 and 75, isn't it? If you look at the men, right? Because this is what you left out: animation, drama, and horror. So you could have been even more specific, saying that the remaining categories were between 60 and 75. Okay, so this way, again, you don't have to bog us down with superfluous like details that we don't need, but you could have been still a little more specific. Okay, so that's one little piece of information that I think is useful. And then for women, let me see, because you did the same thing kind of, didn't you? But only for 2 categories. So here too, you could have been a little more specific. What did you leave out for the women? Animation and horror, I think. Is that correct? Yeah, you left out animation and horror for women. So you could have just said between 50 and 65, okay, rather than this 40 and 80, because you did that in both and it didn't really give us an accurate image here. Do you know what I mean? So maybe you could have done that. Either way, I thought you did a nice job of it. I thought both of your essays today were very good. You're definitely coming along really nicely. So let's see what you do on your next set. Looking forward to it. I'm excited. And, if you have any questions about the feedback today, do let me know, okay? Good luck to you.